Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Spark here, and welcome back to the Shocking Tape. Please, hold your applause. Or don't. Well, we have something special planned out for today. I want to introduce you all to the one, the only, the machine itself, literally. Backstory Bot. Now, Backstory Bot is a robotic machine algorithm thingy majigger that is supposed to know the backstory of every person in the world. So today, for the first time, we're gonna get to know my backstory together. Well, without further ado, here we go. Do the thing, Backstory Bot.
Colt Spock. Age 33. Race human. Gender male. Known injury count 2,655.
Sorry!
Known injury count 2,656. Known to have several mental illnesses: schizophrenia, hallucination.
Oh, come on. Let's get to the good stuff already.
Colt Spock was a young man that grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. In the beginning, Colt.
Hold up just 1 minute. What is this? This isn't anything like I told you at all. Where's the dragons? Where's the unicorns? Pots of gold? Big chested women? Hello? Hello? Ah, well, dang it. Sorry, guys. Looks like we're stuck with this story. It's not initially the one that I had planned, but just enjoy it anyways, okay? I know, but let's give it a shot, alright? Alright. Backstory Bot. Continue on with the story without ice cream, dragons, big chested women, pots of gold, magical journeys, or anything along the likes. Please. Ugh.
Colt Spock was a young man that grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. Growing up in a poor family, Colt always strived to become more. Colt Spock left his home by the age of 19 and went into a college to become a cytologist. After 4 years of college, he'd gained enough education to find a job with a large corporation called Celtic. Celtic had its own motive, unlike most places. They worked towards trying to find the next evolution in the human race. Colt Spock's job was like most. He experimented with chemicals and seeing the way they reacted within the human body. Colt was on his way to the facility one day when he was approached by a man. The man was selling little blue plants called esquish. Colt had the idea to experiment with these new plants after researching into them a bit more. Colt purchased one and brought it back to the facility. He ran the esquish through the accelerator, limiter, then extracted the serum from it. Colt was extremely dedicated to his job. When he looked into the listings, he could not find anything about esquish. He decided that he might be on to something new. Placed the serum into a syringe and injected it into himself.
Psh, that sounds like an idiot.
The esquish serum set off a chemical reaction in his cells. Colt fell against the wall as he screamed out in pain, knocking over vials of chemicals all over the floor before doubling over and collapsing. The esquish had changed Colt's cells in his body into something else, something more. But the job was only partially done. He was found by Celtic and taken into an infirmary. Upon waking up, Colt tried to explain the situation to them. And knowing anything about Colt's endeavors, they had planned to flush it out of his system. When the nurse approached him with a needle and pushed it into his skin, she pushed the plunger down but the syringe immediately backtracked as it filled with his blood in the place of it. She'd scream out and jump back, leaving the needle in his arm. As Colt's skin began healing over, the needle was pushed out onto the ground and shattered. The room was filled with scientists, as they were all panicking about the situation. One scientist had noticed something different. Colt didn't look to be in pain at all. Neither did he look to be panicked about the situation. After the nurse told them about the situation, they decided to try a direct method, as they took a scalpel and a penny-sized tube they were going to pump his blood. As they laid Colt down, and they took the scalpel into his arm. But his skin healed over almost immediately. Something was not right here, they thought to themselves, as Colt looked just as confused as them. One of the men out of the bunch, whose name was not Colt, knew exactly what had happened. Colt was asleep in the medical bay that night. The scientists were working to figure out how to help him, but Note had already figured out what he was planning. He had a group together, and late that night, they broke into the office, and they kidnapped Colt. They took him to a facility far out west. They experimented with his newfound power. They put him through torturous environments and mentally destroyed him. At the end of the test, Colt could not even remember his own name. They had drove him to a breaking point where he knew nothing. He felt nothing. He wanted nothing in his life but to escape the pain that awaited him every morning. Meanwhile, Newt was learning more of Colt's ability and was learning to harness it from within. While experimenting with Colt's DNA one day, an outburst of flames happened in the lower sector of the lab. It just so happens that it's where Colt was being held. Nobody knows how or why the fire started, but Colt believed to be dead that day. Newt at a loss, not knowing what to do because of losing all his work he spent with Colt's DNA, had retired and moved far out to the...
Hey, are you almost done yet? This is almost time for ice cream or ice cream.
You truly are an idiot. Colt Sparks survived the fire, but with no memory and no recollection of his previous life. He had held. He continued on being a sociopath that he had.
The one and only, baby. Now then, with all that being said, backstory bot. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Where did you come from? What did you do? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck really could chuck wood?
I am artificial
If
intelligence.
Peter Piper
Picked a peck of pickled peppers. And he picked a pickled pepper poppers. How many pickled poppers could Peter Piper pick if he was picking pepper poppers? Did Peter Piper pick in the pippin? Peter pick.
I error 404 shutting down. Backstory bot? Hello? Well, I guess that's it. Well, everybody, it's been a good time. But, with all that being said, I do gotta go. So, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one. This was Colt Spark with the Shocking Truth. Bye-bye!